All right, get it rolling on the Krug Show Wednesday nights. It is October the 18th, 7:09 on the West Coast, 10:09 on the East Coast. Welcome to the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue you're going to find in Northern California. Also brought to you by Marin Auto Glass and New York Style Italian Sausage. Marin Auto Glass, 415-883-3030. New York Style Sausage Company. The only Italian sausage that I will eat is New York Style Italian sausage. In fact, we just had the spicy Italian tonight with spaghetti sauce, little mushrooms, little onions, little garlic. Man, we went with the spicy. Normally I like the mild, put the spicy in there. And now I'm watching the little Warriors. I got the World Series, or I got the ALCS Game 3 going on. We got a lot to get to. Warren Smith is in the house. I already see him back in the green room. But we always start with a couple questions. So, Warren, give us a couple seconds and we'll get to you. But first, I welcome in my counterpart, the vice president of the Krug Show, if you want to call it
VP.
VP, Sergeant at Arms, Kev Kruger from our Cal Poly San Luis Obispo
Cal Poly branch.
Location. Yeah, the Cal Poly branch. I saw a guy today driving around town with a car with a bumper license plate deal that said Cal Poly Dad. You know, if you're looking for a gift item for me, I could go with the Cal Poly Dad wraparound deal on the back for the license plate. Look pretty sharp.
I thought I got you
pretty
something
good.
like that. I'm pretty sure I got you something like that at some point.
No, you got me this, which is just the Cal Poly Mustang sticker, but I haven't
Which
put
you
it on
have
the
not
car
used.
yet.
Yeah,
I haven't used it because I
that.
don't want to. I haven't put it on there yet, but I will.
Yeah.
But I will. What's going on, man? How's the week going?
It's good. It's good. I just caught some of the Rangers, Astros. The Rangers losing at home, I think 5-2 still, and then I'm watching the Warriors
coming back,
right.
Yeah, Warriors just started.
Yeah,
Trace Jackson,
pretty
Davis
exciting.
starting.
Yeah, pretty exciting series. I've been catching a little bit of it. Bochy obviously versus Dusty. And that whole storyline is pretty cool. But yeah, this Rangers team is like you'd think that this Astros team is just a juggernaut with all the guys that they got, but it's not. They're down 0-2.
Well, let's fire away. It's the Power Hour. We put the link in the chat. Well, we're going to take video calls. We love video calls. This is my favorite show of the week. I love talking to the audience. I love going around the country and talking to all the different fans, whether they be in California, Maryland, Virginia, Texas, wherever. It's my favorite show of the week. And, of course, getting to hang with you, bro, is always fun. Let's go with the topics. You ready?
I'm ready. What do you got?
All right. Well, the big first of all, let's go to the big controversy of the week. Debo and CJ Gardner-Johnson kind of talking some trash back and forth to each other. And it seems like CJ Gardner-Johnson has some kind of issue with Debo and his cake. He doesn't like that Debo's gotten paid, it sounds like. And so let's share the screen on this one. Here is CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's one of my favorite football players of all time, right? By the way, I love the way this guy hits. I love how violent a player he is. And I don't necessarily disagree with everything he says here, but let's hear what he had to say. Here it is.
You're the same guy who was just requesting a trade out of San Fran because y'all ain't got no quarterback. You were the same guy complaining because you're using like a running back because you're not a receiver. Debo, I'm not one of them ones, bro. Like, you talking about put a tag on it, bro? I'm bored. I'm bouncing between the team. First of all, dude, let me tell you this, man. I'm going to stop you there. You be in Florida like this shit a vacation stay. Chill out, bro. Go back to South Carolina, boy. Like, chill out with all that. Like, bouncing from team to team. I'm really like one of them ones on that field. And I exposed you last year on that field when you didn't have a quarterback and you didn't want to play no more for real. Like, come on, Debo. Like, come on, Debo. Bouncing from team to team, but a team really wants you. I just know my value, my boy. I just know my value. 25 years old, one of the best young safeties in the league. You're right. I ain't doing nothing wrong. This is what we're gonna do, Debo Samuel. You know why I mentioned you. Feel me? Like 25-year-old, one of the best in the league. This probably gonna be what you tap out every game. So I ain't worried about that. You damn sure tap out. You see me. Feel me? So I ain't even tripping about all that. For somebody who can't run routes, got no film. It's evident. For somebody who talk and run from people, it's evident. Some film. You bringing up the Javon Williams hit me. I kept money in my pocket.
So basically, he's just rambling, right? I mean, I don't even really know what that is. Are you? It's not playing anymore.
A little bag, people gave you a little clout. You ain't. Let me stop you there.
All right, so that was the. There's a lot going on there, by the way, and then here's Debo responding on with Kay Adams, and he doesn't back away either. Here's
Why
Debo.
are we fighting with everybody? What's going on there? What do I need to know?
What's so crazy? I ain't know, bro. Like, I have no idea where that came from. He probably was just thinking about me or something. So I don't even know where that came from.
Did you see the IG Live?
Yeah, that was comedy.
Can we play it? Will you get mad if we play it? Oh.
No. It looked like you about to cry.
Bro, listen, don't be talking, be doing. We see y'all whatever round it may be, because I can guard you.
Here we go.
It just sounds like he mad. I got a little bag and a lot of money, and nobody knows who he is. But I ain't gonna speak too much on it. I mean, that shit is over with. Like I was laughing the whole time.
Why are we fighting with everybody?
So there you go. There you have it. Man, I mean, Debo seems to be handling it in stride, taking it in stride. CJ Gardner-Johnson, who is, as I said, one of my favorite players. I've never actually seen him talk, but I just love the way he plays, man. He blows people up. I wanted him bad in the draft out of Florida. Niners went a different direction. He was, he lit up Isaiah Pacheco in the Super Bowl. He's a great, great player. There's no question. But he's now in Detroit, and he seems like a little bent that Debo's got in the bag. I don't know. What do you think, Kev? What's your read on that? I mean, I'll say this. I wouldn't talk a lot of trash to CJ Gardner-Johnson. He's a bad, bad man on a football field. But, I mean, I don't get it. I mean, it sounds like Debo didn't do anything to provoke it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're missing something, if something happened before, but I mean, you're right. You were talking about CJ. I remember all of this offseason wanting the Niners to go get him.
Oh, I really love him as a player.
I put out on Twitter once I saw that video, I was like, yeah, well, the Niners aren't going to be getting CJ Gardner-Johnson anytime soon because this
No.
beef is, it's so uncalled for. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like this guy's hurt. He's just sitting there on his phone probably every day, like. He's just like looking on the internet and he's probably just bored. I don't know. He's probably a crazy dude. I mean, he hits crazy. I mean, I'm sure he's probably kind of crazy. I don't know. But I mean, I watched him in that first game against the Chiefs and he was lighting people up.
He's a great player, man. He's a great player. They're both great players. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but it was worth watching. Bazzy Mian says it's CJ Gardner-Johnson who's the one who started this beef in the first place. Twitter fingers. So I don't know. I don't know what the story is. Maybe somebody else has got an idea. All right, topic 2. NFL trade deadline comes up on the 31st. It's the 18th right now. What do you think? What's John Lynch likely to do?
I don't know. I find the whole trade thing, it's very entertaining, but it's very hard to predict. You're never going to be able to predict trades because there's so other GM, like John Lynch can't even predict a trade right now because it's so hard to, there's so many moving parts. But what I will say is if they were to improve anywhere, I think it's in the secondary. I think it's at the corner position. Now,
Yeah.
my take on this is that I don't think that they need a slot corner. I think that the slot corner is already on the team. I think Demo Lenore can play the slot corner, and I think he can play it well. He has slot corner size. He's pretty fast, but he's not too fast where you need him on the outside. I think Jalen Johnson would be a good outside corner, and you use Demo on the inside. That's what I would like to see. Jalen Johnson's a good player. He's rangy. He's taller. You know, he has good coverage ability. He grades out well in PFF. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of him, but you know, he's a good player, and I think Demo is that answer in the slot.
Have you ever heard of the band the Rolling Stones? I mean, I know it's a little bit before your time. Have you ever heard of the Rolling Stones?
Yes.
You can't you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes you find you get what you need. And I just think people are talking big. Daniil Hunter, Brian Burns, Patrick Surtain, Derrick Henry. I don't think that's the direction they're going. To me, if I was making a prediction, I'll give you three names. I like Jalen Johnson. I'll go Sean Murphy Bunting, Tennessee corner. I think I could see him coming here for sure. I'll say Arden Key, the former Niner who's in Tennessee. I could see him coming here. The other name is Josh Uche from New England. Pretty good speed rusher. I could see him coming here. There's a lot of speculation about Leonard Williams and DJ Jones and stuff like that, but I think those guys are a little too pricey. So I'll say Uche or Sean Murphy Bunting probably are the guys that come this way. If anything happens, those would be the guys that I think those two guys are the guys, or an Arden Key. I think Arden Key makes sense too. Rand Carthon, send him on down. All right, question number 3, Brock Purdy. A lot of people feel like, oh, Brock Purdy's been found out. It's amazing. All these people that were not on the bandwagon, and now they maybe slowly were forced onto the bandwagon. Now they're off the bandwagon. See if you put them up against a good defense and play a little man-to-man, blah, blah, blah. Are you off the Purdy bandwagon? Has Purdy been found out, or was it just a bad day at the office?
It was a bad day at the office. I know you and me kind of got into it in the post game about the Purdy performance, but it wasn't even to say that I think Brock Purdy's bad now or anything. I still think he's a great quarterback. I actually got into an argument with one of my buddies who the week prior was like, all right, guys, I admit it. Brock's good. I admit it. And then as soon as that game ends, I get texted and like, yep, it's exactly what I thought. So it's like a lot of people that probably had to admit that they were wrong are coming back and saying they were right. But I don't think it's true. I mean, he's still the statistics don't lie for some of this stuff. I know you have that saying where it's like liars use statistics and all that stuff, but it's like he's leading
Stats
the NFL.
and liars use statistics.
Yeah. He's leading the NFL in EPA per play. If you just watch him play, he plays great. He had a rough game last game in the terrible conditions against one of the best historical defenses coming off a bye through 5 weeks. One of the best historical defenses. And, just he got rushed all day. And, he made a couple bad throws and when he needed to make good throws, and that stalled some of their drives and maybe like left a touchdown on the board. And got let down by some teammates going out for injury. So, it's just a bad game. You're going to lose games. It's football. So I still have lots and lots of stock in Brock Purdy.
I would just say that, hey, look, that it was a bad game. I don't know that he does well with a wet ball. When the weather was really wet, he struggled to throw the football. He had one slip out of his hand. He had another one that really floated. But obviously it wasn't a good performance by Purdy, but if you go back and look at the performance throw by throw, there was still a lot of good in that tape. And if this is the worst that he is, I think he'll be just fine. They still had a chance to win that game on the road against the number 1 D in weather, with 2 horrendous calls that went against them. No Debo, no CMC, all kinds of adversity in that game. And still, they almost won it at the end if Moody makes a 41-yard field goal. So I'm not off the Brock Purdy bandwagon at all. And I don't believe, these people that are rubbing their hands together. Oh, I hope man-to-man he struggles with man-to-man. keep rubbing those hands together. All right, here we go. Question number 4, CMC. Is his usage, and this is the question I'm going to ask Kyle Shanahan tomorrow at the presser. Is CMC's usage sustainable over 17 weeks?
No, I don't think so. I
don't think so either. He's had
getting dinged up.
133 touches. He would be on pace to touch the ball about 400 times in the regular season. So if it isn't sustainable, that means I got to see other guys. I got to see Mitchell. I got to see Mason. I got to see Jennings. I got to see, I got to see Ronnie Bell. I got to see some other guys. 400 touches for CMC ain't sustainable. And I don't even think Kyle would say it is. So they've used him an awful lot early. They gotta find their depth and start using it, or he's not going to be there. Either use him this much and get ready for him not being there in the playoffs, or dial it way back. Figure out a way to use some other guys.
Dial it back. I mean, you got backs. You got Elijah Mitchell, who's, albeit he's hurt all the time, but Jordan Mason's a good young back. You have TDP, who's basically never playing. I think he's played only a few snaps the entire year. But you got good young backs. You're going to play teams that you're going to kill. Why, you're going to start running him out, start running Jordan Mason out in the second half when you're up 2 touchdowns. Like, it doesn't really make any sense right now, especially with the way Christian McCaffrey runs. He's not even though he's on the smaller side, I guess, leaner, quicker side, he's still a contact running back. He's still looking to hit guys hard. So he's going to get nicks and bruises throughout the season, and he got one last week. So maybe now that he's actually hurt, Kyle will realize that he can't just use him 30 carries a game.
All right, last one before the calls. We're in agreement on that. Vikings, Niners, Monday Night Football. I've been throwing the questions to you. You throw one to me. What's the question you have?
Well, let's just talk about Minnesota for a second. I have in my notes that they're just one of the most mid. They're the most mid of mid you can get, and essentially, like, they're right dead middle in DVO ranking. Their offense is right in the middle. The defense is slightly above the middle. Their special teams is below average. Kirk Cousins is second in the league with passing yards, but his EPA per play is 16th in the league. In my opinion, they're just one of those teams where if you get them on a good week, they're a decent team. If you get them on a bad week, they're a terrible team. They're also, on the other hand, they're last in the NFL in luck ranking. The year prior, they were first in the NFL in luck ranking. So they're having kind of an opposite season from last season. My question to you would be, what part of this team scares you the most?
Danielle Hunter. He leads the league in sacks. Trent Williams is coming off a week where he had an ankle sprain. It could be Jalen Moore if he re-hurts it or if he can't go. So Danielle Hunter. I mean, that's it. I'm not, the Vikings, I don't think can run it. Alexander Madison, not concerned about him at all. There is no Justin Jefferson, so I'm not worried about that. I think this is a get-right game, but the one thing that worries me is Danielle Hunter getting a free run at Brock Purdy. Danielle Hunter on that surface going up against a hurt Trent Williams is a little bit of a concern. Other than that, I like this game a lot for the 49ers. But, yeah, that's it. I'm Danielle Hunter. I'm worried about Danielle Hunter. In fact, I've seen a lot of Danielle Hunter trade rumors, and if they want to trade him before Monday, I would give thumbs up to that. All right, Kev, you ready for
okay on that?
Well, let me just add one more thing. Danielle Hunter. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're worried about the run game, I'd say this week you don't need to be too worried, because even though the Vikings have a really good offensive line, or pretty good offensive line, Christian Darrisaw is a really good offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Alexander Madison and Cam Akers are, Cam Akers is probably their better back. I've watched Madison a lot this year because he's on my fantasy team, and just trust me, 49ers fans, there is nothing to worry about. Alexander Madison is not that good. He only really has good running games. He can catch the ball a little bit, but he only really has good running games against really bad rushing defenses. And he sucked against the Eagles in prime time, and I watched that game, and he couldn't get a yard to save his life. So I wouldn't be really worried about this running game either.
I mean, there's always Kirk Cousins. He's a veteran, but I'm not that concerned. All right, let's go to the calls. First in the house was Warren Smith, and we take you in the order. Los, by the way, says greetings, Krug 1 and 2. Long season, please use the depth and the great roster you have.
We should probably mention our Mojo jersey giveaway. Do we not do that? Do we do that?
Oh yeah. Look, before we go to the calls, of course, we are brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, and we're brought to you by Marin Auto Glass and New York Style Italian Sausage. But we're also brought to you by Mojo Fantasy. And so Mojo Fantasy, check that link in the description. Make sure you use the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G. You can get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. But everybody who does this enters into a drawing for either a Nick Bosa or a Brock Purdy jersey. You get to choose. We'll award it to you Thanksgiving night after Niners Seahawks in Seattle. We'll do a little a little raffle for all the people who entered. And, it's going to be, it's like, this is going to, let's just say this. If you register at Mojo Fantasy and use that promo code Krug, your odds of getting a Bosa or a Purdy jersey are pretty good. Definitely do that. And it's between now and about a month and, almost 5 weeks. We've got about 5 weeks until Thanksgiving night. So go to Mojo Fantasy, use that promo code Krug, and they'll match you up to $100 for your first deposit. And everybody who does it is in the raffle for a Thanksgiving night giveaway jersey of either Nick Bosa or Brock Purdy, your choice. And it's not like some small jersey that doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's a legit jersey. It's also a legit jersey. I think it's like
and it's going to be in whatever size you want it in. We have not. The jersey is not here. We will get the jersey once we know who the jersey's for. So if you're one of these guys that's, you're Javon Kinlaw and you're in the audience and you want to get a Bosa jersey or a Purdy jersey, we'll make sure we get it in Javon Kinlaw's size. So this is not just like a small jersey that you're going to have to put behind glass. This is a jersey you're going to be able to actually wear going forward. All right, let's go to the lines. Warren Smith was first in the green room, and he's first with us as we go to Louisiana for Warren. What's up? What's up, Warren? How are you this week?
How we doing?
How y'all doing?
Hey, we're doing good.
I'm doing pretty good. I learned a little bit about the 49ers last game, but still the same old with the Kyle Shanahan, bro.
Hey, your volume is really low, and I'm hearing myself in the background. Is there a way we can dial up your volume and dial down our volume? Kev, you got any suggestions for Warren there?
If he's on his phone, he just has to yell, I guess.
Yeah, I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, no sweat. Go ahead, we got you.
I learned a little bit about the 49ers, about the 49ers this weekend. Still the same old Kyle Shanahan sometimes.
What didn't you like?
Kyle should know how to use the clock at the end of the game sometimes. There's three passes at the end of the game. At least run one time, at least drain some of that clock out.
He made one mistake for sure. On the second to last drive, they get the ball back, 3:21 left in the game. You got to run it on first down. Why? Because if you do what you did and what happens, you get a penalty and you fall behind the chains. Now, guess what? You got to pass it on second down. And the odds are now it's 2nd and 21. They got 10 yards. They got 10 yards, but you still are staring at 3rd and 11, and you were going to have to pass it then. So then instead of making the Browns use a couple timeouts, they went pass. Lots of people have questioned this, and I'm one of them. But if you think about this, if he had made them burn clock and they went down anyway and got the field goal, would the Niners have had any time to go back the other way and try to kick the winning field goal? No.
You're right about that. You're right.
So, I know how it worked out, but it's like the game would have gone faster. To me, my bigger complaint with Kyle wasn't on that series. My bigger complaint was you had 9 seconds left and a timeout, and you're staring at a 41-yard field goal in the muck, in the cold, and a bad field there in Cleveland for a rookie kicker. don't assume 41 yard. To me, I'd love to see the percentages on 41 yarders versus 31 yarders. Let Brock Purdy drop back to pass and make a chance to complete a ball and call a timeout. You had a timeout, or run it one more time. Run one. You didn't have to kick it on third down. I thought their usage of the clock at the end bothered me more than not running it once on the second to last possession.
A little more passive aggressive, more like that. But one thing I did learn that I ain't saying nothing is a good loss, but I think we're riding too high, but that's a loss. But get it early, get out the system, learn from from your mistakes.
Yeah.
But we should beat the Vikings this Monday night.
Oh, I'm loving it too. It's national TV. The nation's going to be watching. The one thing I'm eager to see is I'd like to see the 49ers. I think they're better on the faster surface. And I'd like to see Ayuk go off. Ayuk needed to go off in Cleveland. He didn't. He dropped 3 balls. I need Ayuk to have Monday night's got to be the Brandon Ayuk national coming out party as a superstar. He's got to show Monday night that he's the man.
Right. I'm looking at that too, but like, man, you usually catch the ball, but then you know what I'm saying. You got the arms, the hands, all them drops. We were like, man, it was more of I like the play calling with what Kyle was doing. They were bringing down the film, and it was just mis-execution of the plays.
Yeah.
If they execute most of them plays, you probably be up. You probably won that game. But go back in the film, look at it, and make quick adjustments in next game. Execute the plays. If you execute the plays, Kyle Shanahan will have you in the best position of all time.
No question. Warren, we're going to jump because I can hear you, Kev can hear you, but I don't think the audience can hear you that well, so we'll let you jump. But good to see you. Go Niners. Enjoy the game Monday night.
Got you. 4-9 for life.
There you go. I like it. Big Mo is in the house. Big Mo, how are you? Outside of his place because his girl doesn't want to mess with us.
Hey, it's a perspective from the porch. Aloha, Kevin. Aloha, Larry. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great, man.
Good.
Feeling good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay, man, considering we got served this past Sunday, but it is what it is, man. Shit happens. But let me just say this, man. What the fuck is Kyle doing, bro, with the run game? It's like, dude, why is Jordan Mason on the roster if we do not use him? Is it because something I heard about he fumbled in the preseason? You know what? Let me say this, Larry. Let me say this, Kevin. Fumbled in the preseason. What the hell is that about, bro? Debo is one of my favorite players, bro. Debo fumbles. I love George Kittle. Kittle fumbles. I love Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy fumbles. So we're not going to give Jordan Mason a chance because he fumbled the ball one time in a training camp or a preseason? Man, get the F out of here with that BS. You know what I'm saying? That is crazy to me. It's like, bro, the kid rushes for 5.6 yards a carry. Easy.
Give Mason, maybe I'll show up at the presser tomorrow with a sign that says "Free Jordan Mason."
Straight up.
Because seriously, Shanahan was asked a question Monday afternoon. I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it, and the question was, "Hey, do you have confidence in Jordan Mason?" He immediately started talking about Elijah Mitchell.
Bro,
the question was, "Do you have confidence in Jordan Mason?" And you start talking about Elijah Mitchell. I mean, you ask me, do I have confidence in the Niners? I don't start talking about the Rams.
Yeah.
You ask me if I have confidence in my son Kev. I don't start talking about my son Christopher.
Exactly.
I mean, what the heck? What is the deal? I want to know as well. Jordan Mason needs the rock. He's too good, too big, too fast. If he fumbles, let's see it first. I mean, I know we put it on the carpet a couple times in camp. They're acting like he's Chuck Muncie. Now, that's before all your guys' prime, all your guys' era, but Chuck Muncie was his back that fumbled all the time. They got to use Jordan Mason. You can't have CMC with 400 touches. And I haven't seen one thing about Jordan Mason I don't like.
But the thing is, they're already keying in on CMC. You know what I mean? They're already roughing him up, face masking on him, skeptical hits. You know what I mean? Like borderline dirty. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's like, dude, Elijah Mitchell was not even healthy during the offseason. Then when he got healthy, he got hurt in training camp. Then when he got healthy, he got hurt in preseason. So why are we giving him the reps when Jordan Mason is the one who's actually been ready to roll? That's what I just do not understand, Larry. Kevin, bro, this is like mind-boggling to me. I have no idea why they don't want to give this kid the opportunity to just crush it, because he's going to crush it.
I mean, let's wait and see. I think this is the week. If Mitchell plays all the snaps and Mason doesn't, then it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Because Mason's the one who's looked the best. So I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to justify because Mitchell was the starter before CMC got here or what they're doing. But yeah, I think Mason's the best back.
Mitchell never fumbles, so that's what he loves about Mitchell. But Mitchell is a small guy with a big man's game. He wants to run upright between the tackles, pick and slide. He takes monster hits. He's, Mason will deal punishment to the defense. Let's see Mason. Let's see a little Mason.
Let's be honest about this whole thing, okay? Bro, we was giving up fucking 2 turnovers a game with Jimmy Garoppolo as our quarterback, and our defense was holding strong. So if you're worried about Jordan Mason fumbling the ball one fucking time, bro, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Give the kid his opportunity. He will crush it. And that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah. No, I am absolutely with you on that. And, I'm gonna ask Kyle tomorrow about if he thinks CMC's usage is sustainable, but it's all going towards question number 2, which is why is he struggling to get run? He is your big physical hammer head of a back. I mean, to me, he looks like Marshawn Lynch. What do you need to see? What does he need to do to jump the line and get some carries? That might be the question tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right about that, Larry. And then also, I got something for all the rah-rah shish boomba Niner fans out there, because you guys need to just chill out, bro. Everybody talking about, Brock Purdy, he's fucking terrible. We knew this is what it was, blah, 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 blah. You know what, bro? Check this out. Number one, if you're a Niner fan, bro, you cheer for whoever the fuck is at the helm. Number one, first off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
number one.
I agree.
That is number
people
one.
Forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, people forget that shit, bro. When Jimmy G was back there, bro, I was cheering for him. Bro, when Trey Lance got drafted, bro, you know what, dude? I went to Detroit to see Trey Lance play. Dude, I got two $300 Trey Lance jerseys in my closet because I thought he was going to be the quarterback. And guess what? He ain't. So I ain't tripping because Purdy's the quarterback. And guess what? I'm behind Purdy 100%. Dude, every quarterback has a bad game, people.
I know. People were like so grudgingly supporting Brock Purdy, and you can almost see them like, oh, he lost. Yes. And it's sad. And the content creators who you can tell last week and the week before, as the Niners are routing people and Purdy's looking awesome, completing 95%. And they're like, kind of like, this week they're like, ooh, I got a bounce in my step. You're a fucking loser. All right. If that's you're a fucking loser. Because seriously, I mean, you're rooting against the Brock Purdy to fail. You're rooting for the guy to fail because you didn't pick him, because you don't know football well enough. And you said that Trey Lance was going to be awesome, and they traded Trey Lance. So now you're bitter, and now you're going to sit there and you're just going to wish upon wish that the guy steps in a pothole. I mean, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. But I would say to all of them, good. You want to get off the bandwagon now? We'll stop softly so you can get off, because the train's moving on without you. The kid's going to bounce back in a huge way. And if anybody thinks like somebody's found the secret to beating Brock Purdy, think again. You'll see Monday night.
Yeah, and the secret is what? Having the best defense in the NFL. That's the secret. So I mean, trying to replicate that, like I don't know,
Exactly.
like,
And rain, and he loses his weapons,
and rest, yeah.
and his kicker misses 2 kicks, and look what it took to beat the Niners. Look at the adversity that had to come up before they would get beat. Amazing, really. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. We talk about adversity every week, and then it just all comes at once, like every way imaginable it came.
So last week, bro, I was on this show chirping about how everything was clicking, and then all of a sudden, the chain came off the spool, man. It was just like, what the hell's going on? It is what it is. But sometimes things happen, man, and just people need to realize it's like, bro, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, players have bad games. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is, bro. I've known some Niner fans talking to me, talking about, oh, bro, we got to blow this shit up. This is bullshit. I was like, dude, do you even watch the game, or do you look at the box score? Like, what is going on with some of these fans, bro? It's like, I call them rah-rah shit boom bars. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, they just cheer, and then when shit goes sideways, they're like, oh, man, we're in trouble. This is terrible. It's like, bro, it's a long season.
Joe Montana went
Stick with it.
2-6 in his first 8 games. Steve Young wasn't any good till he was 31. This kid's 12-1. Really, let's dial it down and have some perspective. I've watched Mahomes have games where he threw 3 picks in the red zone. I mean, he's still the best quarterback in the game. We saw Josh Allen have disastrous performances where he had all kinds of turnovers. Everybody
We've
needs to pump the
consistently
brakes.
seen Patrick Mahomes suck against the Raiders, who suck. So it's like
Right.
shit just happens. I don't know.
It just seems funny with the narrative, because it's like, you know what? Nobody really talks about how, even though Brock Purdy had a shit game, at the end of the game, bro, marched us down the field, got us in position to kick the ball, and Moody missed the kick. So,
No doubt.
you know what? Moody missed the kick. It is what it is, bro. He's a rookie-ass kicker. Dude, I was at the Raider game, the preseason Raider game. I was sitting there live watching Moody miss those kicks. And I looked over at my friend and I told him, I said, bro, this is our first pick in the 3rd round. Like, oh my God, bro, like, what is going on?
Well,
I
I'll
heard
say
that
this: the
Rodney
guy's
Gould wants to come back.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, let's see how the kid bounces back. If he bounces back strong, then you ride with him. If he doesn't bounce back strong, you call Robbie and you IR the kid. That's as simple as that. Big Mo, let us jump, because we got so many people in the green room now.
No
They're eating
worries,
all the
guys.
food.
I appreciate you guys always,
Thanks,
man.
Big
Thank
Mo.
you. And let me just say one time, like I always do, pig in the pickle, baby.
Big Mo. Big Mo. We go to Chris Barber, who's hanging out. Chris, how are you, buddy?
What's up? What's going on?
Chris, you gotta dial us. You got headphones, or you? I'm
Damn, man. Damn, my bag. I didn't put my headphones in. You can't hear me?
We can hear you, but you can hear ourselves back.
Too much feedback. Hold on one second.
Well, hold on. We'll go to you next. We'll go to you next. We'll go to Trock. We'll come back to you.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Chris is getting some headphones. Oh, wait a second. There we go.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Can you guys hear me? I don't have my headphones in, but am I right?
Yeah,
Trock, how you doing?
Good,
yeah,
man.
we got you. Whatever your setup is, it's working. Where are you calling from, Trock?
Oh, Monterey County, baby.
Nice.
Oh, proud of the
we were
Brave.
just down there. We were just down. Kev's down at Cal Poly. We were down at Monterey. Kev, when did we go to Monterey?
November.
November.
Was it Mom's birthday? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my God, it was incredible.
Hey, don't worry. Hey, I just want to let you know. I was in Reno for the last week, and I'm going to talk about the eyes of a guy that watched a Niner game after an all-night craps game of just winning, and then took all his winnings and bet him against the Niners. It sucks. I lost my ass, but I'll tell you what, dude. It's the only game they fucking lost with Brock Purdy. I don't know why everyone's up in arms about it. How many games has he won as a quarterback of the 49ers?
12.
Like, you have to give it as it was a trap game, no matter how you look at it. A lot of bettors it was betted as a trap game. I had this as a teaser, so fuck me.
I did too. Did you have the Niners on the teaser, or
I had the Niners and Eagles in a teaser, and then I had one with what was it? I think Miami? It might have been Denver, or I forget what it was. I
took Miami and the Niners on the teaser and lost.
Niners on the teaser, so gonzo. But all I can say now is, what's next? The Vikings aren't as good as everyone says they are. I mean, the record says it, but they have clout from being better in the playoffs, I guess, the last 3 years. But they're not a better team than the Niners. It's going to show. And what I do hope that they do is, as you're talking about Chris McCaffrey, you got to run some new guys in there as far as running backs and get the rotation. And the rotation of the Niners and their running backs weren't all that bad. Purdy had some bad incompletions in the rain. I think it was actually scheme in this game that wasn't the best. You could have ran the ball a hell of a lot more than you did.
You should have. You were going up against the number one pass defense. It should have been. I mean, let's back away for a second and just talk about the matchup. You're going up against the number one D, and it was the number one pass D. So why would you not have a 60-40 run-pass split in that game with all the backs that you have? And take the – especially once Trent went out of the game. My goodness. I mean, you got Myles Garrett on the other side, and Kyle got a little pass happy in this game. It should have been 60-40 run-pass split. And at the end of the game, it was more passes than runs in a game that was tight the entire game. It wasn't like they were playing catch-up. So but you said the right thing, Trock. This was a trap game. The Browns were coming off the bye. The Niners were coming off of an emotional win over the Cowboys. And I'll tell you, that Bengals game next week is also another trap game. They're going to have a bye. And the Niners are going to be coming off a short week, traveling back from Minnesota, back to San Francisco, and they're going to have a whole lot less preparation. So it's just the NFL. I mean, I didn't expect them to go 17-0. Did you? I think 14-3 is about what I would expect. I thought 11-6 at the beginning of the year, but I would kind of reset it at 14-3. But I mean, I think they're going to lose 2-3 games for sure. I could see them losing to the Bengals. I could see them losing in Philly. Though I do think they'll win in Philly, but I could see them losing that game. I could see them losing on Thanksgiving night in Seattle. I mean, it's the NFL. I mean, teams lose.
Nobody does that. I mean, you talk trap games like we've got to buy in 2 weeks, right? We play the Vikings and the Browns then the Bengals and then a bye. Run the ball, but why Kyle Shanahan? And I'm not going to say anything bad about anything they've done because this is just a trap game. They met a team in a blender off a bye. They're in weather. Should they have ran the ball more? Absolutely. Chris McCaffrey was like averaging 4 yards a carry. Mason was up there like 10 yards a carry. Like it was crazy. Why they stopped, I don't know. That's for the coaches to figure that out and kind of reevaluate. But with a team that's hot like that and hasn't lost and has – I gotta be honest with you, way too much fucking confidence. They needed to get hit in the mouth and get beat because that's going to make them better.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I could pick the players apart and whatnot, but some of them are more overconfident than others. And I'm not mad at what CJ Gardner said about Debo at all. At all. I think hopefully he takes a little check on that and realize a little bit what he said is actually true. And sometimes the truth hurts and he's winning, but when they're losing, some of that stuff shows. But
CJ Gardner-Johnson in that speech kind of reminds me of Rocky 3 when Clubber Lang was talking trash to Rocky. You've been ducking me, fool. It's like CJ Gardner-Johnson and the Lions are they're that number one contender sitting there off to the side, getting better, stronger. They're coming. In fact, I don't know if you saw this. Chad Johnson says, well, I'm gonna play you this before you jet. Let me show this to you guys. You're gonna love this. This is Ocho Cinco with his oh wait a second. No wait, hold on. Let me go back. That's not what I want. I want this one. Hold on. Try it again. Hit a new button. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Chad Johnson. Here's Chad Johnson. Here we go. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger. And here it is. Okay.
You're moving really slow right now. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, nothing's playing, Larry.
Dad.
What?
Nothing's playing.
Okay, hold on. Wait, you guys didn't see that?
We saw when he popped up, but didn't play.
Hold on. Sorry about that. Here we go. Now I'll show it to you. Hold on. The technology. Being your own technician here. Here we go.
Fuck, Kevin, you gotta come out and teach Larry how to work this shit on your Thanksgiving break, dude.
Hey, if you told me, I would have got it loaded up for you.
Here we go. Now, here we go.
Like the Detroit Lions, that seems to
Now
be
you got it?
ascending to that tier of top teams that could represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Looking
Yes,
at
there we
these
go.
teams, Chad, how do they all stack up to you?
I mean, right now, obviously, I would still have the Eagles first. I would have the Eagles first, and right behind it, I would probably have the Lions. I probably had the Lions.
So you put the Lions over the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow. Yeah, most definitely. Right
Tell me why you would think that the Detroit Lions, a team we've never seen in this position, could be better suited to represent the NFC than the San Francisco 49ers, who have been in NFC championships, who have been to the Super Bowl under Kyle Shanahan.
It's all about momentum. It's all about momentum. Right now, the momentum. Detroit Lions had the momentum in the way they're playing right now. Obviously, I have a feeling. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that, and I haven't been wrong yet, except maybe once since I've been on here. Just once. Trust me and listen to me when I say something about the Detroit Lions is special.
Yeah, I go Niners, Eagles.
All right. So I've never been wrong before, except for that one time.
Well, Chad Oakley, he's old. I'll call him Chad Johnson because that's his real fucking name. It's not 85 in Spanish. So let's just realize that real quick. He also is just infatuated with fucking Madden ratings. So screw him. And if he wants to talk momentum, the Eagles lost this weekend too. So fuck
the Jets.
off, man.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Like,
right.
Get out of here, man. That's just ridiculous talk about some guy that wants a talking point. He wants clicks. It's not actually, you brought up some other YouTube clowns that rode the Trey Lance and whoever else all offseason we had to endure. It was just absolute disaster for them coming in. And I can't be happier for them because they said a lot of shit that was against the community and against people, and fuck them. So,
yeah,
you know
I mean,
what?
the whole like wishing, and then getting it so wrong. I mean, so wrong. You weren't even close. I mean, the guy wasn't even the second quarterback. He wasn't even the third quarterback. He, in the minds of Kyle and John, he was the fourth quarterback. And you guys had him starting over Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen. So,
hey, can I say just
not even playing now?
How dare they ever say he was ever going to beat out Sammy Dimes? You know what I mean? He was never ever going to beat out Sammy Dimes.
I loved your Sammy Dimes truck.
He can't even beat out Rush at the number 2 quarterback in fucking Dallas. So who gives a shit about them? Who gives a shit?
I loved your Sammy Dimes from the beginning, man. Seriously, that made me laugh way back. When did you bust that out?
Well, why? Well, the reason it was is because everyone was talking about Trey Lance, how he improved. And I'm like, he has to improve. There's no he has to show something. And I'm like, this is great. And if you believe in Trey Lance is going to get better in 3 years, you have to believe in somebody that has been in the league for 3 years as a starter and has reps. Like if you want Trey Lance to have reps, great. He needs reps. Perfect. I could agree with you on this level. But if you don't believe in Sam Darnold's because he has reps and he can't improve, your logic is skewed, and there's other things than football that you want than that. So, unfortunately, it's what it is. And I'm really happy that Brock Purdy came in and did what he did. But I'll let the next callers go. But can I just get your thoughts on or more information on Danny Gray? Because I think if Debo's out, I would love Danny Gray in this offense to open this thing up. I think it would be tremendous with him in that spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, Danny Gray's having a hard time just staying healthy, but I'll tell you, I talked to Danny Gray 4 or 5 times last year, and he claims he's got an all-time touchdown dance once he gets in the end zone. He was a very good player at SMU. I mean, we're talking about a guy who he ran 4.33 for the stopwatch, but if you watched him, he plays like a 4.25 guy. So they just got to get him right. He's there. He's running at practice. He's working his way back. I think he's the vertical threat that they need. I can't wait to see him because Kyle, everybody's predicted, they're going to cut him. They're going to cut him. They've never cut him. And Kyle, always maintains every time I ask him how important it is to have that unbelievable field stretching vertical threat. And I know that he sees that in Danny Gray. So I'm hoping that Danny Gray hits the ground running and that we see him before long and that he starts stretching the field and making some impact plays, because he's got difference making speed. He's the guy that you look at him and you're like, whoa, everybody else looks like they're tight ends compared to this guy. I mean, he really is a burner. So I'll say this, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he knows the offense better. He's been delayed by a couple injuries, but I think when he gets out there, people are going to fall in love. I really do.
I can't wait to see it, and please report on him more. I'd love to hear more about it, because I think he's on the verge of something if he gets out there. So
you know what? I'll Trock, because you asked about him. I'm going to hunt him down in the locker room in the next couple of days. I'll do a little interview with him, check in with him. I'll post it on YouTube for you in the next couple of days.
I appreciate that, and I'll leave with this. Larry, thank you so much. Kevin, slay those slows, girls, brother. Slay them all.
Trock. Oh, you gotta love Trock. All right, Chris Barber's back in the house.
All right.
No. I like to pick a
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, but we can hear ourselves.
Damn, man. My damn technical difficulties, fellas.
You got earbuds?
Do you have earbuds?
And they went kaput on me. Damn, man.
How about this? You just make your points, and then we'll talk at the end.
Okay. All I wanted to say is that I've been talking to my homeboys about what would stop the 49ers from winning the Super Bowl this year. And a lot of them came back with Kyle Shanahan. Okay, I'll take you back to the NFC Championship game. When they threw that pass, the Eagles threw that pass to Devontae Smith, he jumped up, was going crazy, like hurrying up his team to try to get to the line to snap the ball. Right then and there, that's your moment to throw the challenge flag. So many teams in the preseason, regular season, whatever, it don't matter what the case may be, if they think it's a chance that the call will get overturned, they're going to throw the challenge flag. Think about that. He didn't throw the challenge flag. He said that they didn't get the right look, which I'm not understanding. What's our guys in the booth doing if they didn't say they got the look from the TV people?
Are you talking about the Eagles?
Yes. And they said that they didn't get the right look. That's why they didn't throw the challenge flag on that play. But think about the events that happened after that. Brock Purdy get knocked out the game. Deflates the whole team, not just the offense, not just the defense, the whole team. And now we're in a struggle. So I think it's Kyle Shanahan, the only thing that could hold us back in these big games from winning the Super Bowl.
Well, let me say this. I muted you so you don't hear the reverb back. But only thing I'll say about that Eagle game is that if Kyle got the same replays that we were getting on the national TV broadcast, okay? I don't know their setup. I know the setup in New York, but I don't know the setup as far as the booth where he's talking up to somebody at the link there in Philly. But I mean, I did not get the definitive look at the ball out until after it had been decided, after they had run the play. But let's go back to the play. They go up top. Was it Devontae makes the catch? We know now it wasn't really a catch. There were two indicators that something was going on. The first one was Afonga, who was right there going, incomplete. That was the first giveaway. That was the first hint, okay? The second hint that something was up on that play was the Eagles sprinting down the field to get the ball snapped quickly. So you had two different indications. What's that?
That's a dead giveaway.
That's a dead giveaway. Giveaway. Kyle, I knew, was hesitant. Why? Because once you lose your challenge in a game of that magnitude, you've lost it for the game. So, but you had two indications there that the call was, that there was something fishy about the call. And I think but I'll give Kyle a break in that I think that he didn't get, I think the people that he was talking to upstairs got the same looks that we got. They showed us multiple looks, but not the definitive look until after the next play had been run. I actually didn't really see the definitive look until after the touchdown was scored, because they scored a touchdown shortly thereafter. I think that's what he got as well. and I think he just didn't want to burn that challenge so early. All I would say to Kyle, look, the learning lesson from that is when the game starts, it's on. And if you could have a game-altering play on the first play of the game that you need to use your challenge on. Be ready to use your challenge on the first play of the game. It's a tough lesson to learn, but I think it's a lesson that was learned there. And I do believe, though, that if he had gotten the look that I got and that we all got on television, the side angle look, if he had gotten that look in real time, no doubt in my mind, he throws the challenge flag. And he didn't get that look, didn't throw the challenge. The rest is history. That game got out of control. Just that's my point on it. I'll unmute you now, Chris. Go ahead if you want to follow up there. Wait, hold on a second. Let me unmute you. There you go.
Okay, I'm just saying that's all irrelevant if he throws the challenge flag, whether the TV seen it or not. You throw it. Because like you said, it's right there to be taken in the first moments of the game. So maybe you don't get that timeout at the end of the game. And in these big games, you never know when that moment is going to come. And like my homeboys are saying, Kyle Shanahan sometimes can miss the moment. Everybody blames him for the Atlanta thing when he was in Atlanta, 28-3 lead. Everybody blames him for the Jimmy G thing in 2019. I know I couldn't see straight. I couldn't see straight. A 10-point lead with 7 minutes to go. I couldn't believe we lost that game. Yeah. But I think in these big games that Kyle Shanahan needs to calm himself, steady himself, and go with his gut sometimes. Don't go with the analytics or the percentages. Go with your gut.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Chris, good to see you, man. Have a great night. We appreciate you. Thanks for Chris. Chiming in, and we wish you the best. There we go. We kind of had to work around Chris's thing, Mike there, but you know what? I love Chris, and he makes some great points, and I think that was probably the best way to handle it is let him talk and then mute, right? And then so we got a little bit of everything.
That's what I was going to say, but you figured it out.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You got it.
We got it. Chris, we appreciate you. Jaya's in the house. Jaya, how are you?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
How you doing?
I'm in Florida.
Nice. Say hi to Kev. And it's the first time we've ever talked, right, Jaya?
Nah, actually, I meant to put Jay, but I fucked up the.
Oh, Java. I'm sorry. My bad. Is it Jiva or Java?
Java, right? No,
Java
Jay. I meant to just put Jay, but the thing.
Yeah, his name's Jay. His name's Jay. He didn't mean to put
it's just Jay. It's just Jay.
Actually, I've been wanting to get back on with you because I talked to you before the season started about the trade targets for Trey Lance, and I was the one that brought up the Cowboys, and that actually happened. That blew my mind.
Wow.
Oh wow! I forgot about
similar to Dak Prescott. It made sense to me.
Yeah, seriously, man, we gotta listen more to you, Jay.
Yeah. Well, come on is like I've seen everybody talk about the trade targets for the 49ers or whatever, and I'm like, why is everybody ignoring the most obvious trade target for them? Like the most obvious.
Wait. Give us a second. Let us guess on this, Kev.
The most obvious trade target.
Most obvious trade target. It would be
DJ Jones,
Danielle Hunter.
I can give you a hint.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's where Jimmy G plays now.
Devontae Adams.
Jordan Willis.
No, that's how hard it is. It's so hard.
He's gonna say the running back.
Hunter Renfrow.
No, that's close, but no.
Devontae.
No, they should. I don't understand why they just don't try to get Max Crosby. He don't even want to be there.
He is a game wrecker. He's a game wrecker.
He doesn't want. He literally was complaining about Josh McDaniels when Devontae Adams were doing it. Could you imagine having I'd send a first if I was the 49ers, I'd send a first round pick to the Raiders right now for Crosby. You would have Crosby, Bosa, Hargrave, and Jackson and Gregory doing splits. Like that's ridiculous.
Ooh, that is
I don't know, but why would
Jay, wait a second,
his number?
Kev? Should we turn Jay's suggestion into a video tomorrow? How big would that get?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's I mean, because people are talking about cornerbacks, but it's like you really think about it, there's not too many options. And it's like if you're the 49ers, what's a first round pick to you? I mean, you plan on going to the Super Bowl, being in a
32nd overall.
The Raiders,
31.
the Raiders are trash. They're trash. They're trash. Like it does not matter. Like that team is not going to go anywhere. They can't be. They're never going to beat the Chiefs. They're never going to beat the Chargers irrelevant unless the Chargers are in a 2-minute drill. They don't beat them. But like it's just like
I like the idea, but you know what? It's funny that you said that because I was reading about Brian Burns today, and the team that they had him going to was the Raiders.
For what?
Because the Raiders badly want to replace Chandler Jones. But I mean, I totally agree with you. The Raiders are a tire fire. They're not. Getting a great edge rusher is like it's like baseball having a great closer. You don't need a great closer if you don't have a fucking lead in the ninth.
And it's like Kevin was alluding to it. It's like if you watch that game against the Raiders and the Packers, that game was literally just Max Crosby destroying the left tackle of the Packers. That was the whole game. Like every play, he was
you're totally right.
Jordan Love's face.
Yeah, he's a game wrecker.
How incredible would it be to have Max Crosby and Nick Bosa on one line?
It's a $12.9 million cap hit this year and a $24.4 million cap hit next year.
I feel like it's a long-term move though. You have all this extra cap. It's like it's like a long-term type thing. And plus, like honestly, this is the way I would feel it. Like, I mean, I think if you win the Super Bowl this year, you probably ain't gonna have George Kittle no more. I mean, like, I don't see why you would stick around with him. You probably
or Juice.
Yeah, there's certain guys that just like Trent Williams probably retire. Like, there's gonna be a lot more room than people like are realizing right now. So it's just like he's young enough that it makes sense to go after him. And it's like you say like it's like why would the Broncos get rid of Sertan? The Broncos won't get rid of Sertan because he's young, he's on a rookie contract. The Raiders, if they're not going nowhere, their owner doesn't want to pay nobody. It just makes sense.
I'll say this as a guy who's complaining on another team. He obviously isn't happy with where he's at. Would he be happy to come to the 49ers to be on a snap count, splitting reps with someone else like Gregory half the game?
No, I don't. First of all,
I think he'd be a starter.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt.
But I mean, so no Jackson isn't playing anymore?
Is Bosa on a snap count?
No, but if neither of them are, then no one else is. Then Gregory's not playing. And
I'll give you the snap counts. I have it here from last week, and this is the thing. This is why I like this idea from Jay. I gotta start listening to my man Jay. Seriously. This is the snap counts from Browns game. Bosa, 68 snaps. Armstead, 54. Hargrave, 48. Farrell, 36. Kinlaw, 29, and he played really well. Gregory, 26. Drake had 22. Givens had 20. Farrell and Gregory led the defensive line with 3 pressures each. Gregory and Bosa both registered sacks. Kinlaw, believe it or not, was the highest graded pass rusher according to Pro Football Focus at 75.0.
He's gotten better.
His pressure on PJ Walker led to the Demo Lenore pick. It was Kinlaw's pressure up the gut. You know what? When I asked Chris Koceric this summer about how many snaps he wants to play his guys, he's like, "Hey man, I can't run Nick and my first team line out there 70 snaps a game. They'll be dead by mid-December. They won't even make it to the playoffs. I need these guys to be revved up come playoff time." So if I'm, the more the merrier. I mean, seriously, you need more depth up front. Everything the Niners do is predicated by a big pass rush up front. And I agree.
I think like people are like, because our cornerbacks are obviously like the weakest depth position we have, but it's like in today's NFL, I think it's like having good corners helps, but it's like if you could speed the clock up of the quarterback, it's more important. So just doing something if you can make them throw earlier, it doesn't matter who your secondary is, they're going to make mistakes.
Niner Gold says Crosby's their identity on D. Joel Martinez says no way they would trade Crosby. We got
Man,
this
money,
guy
man,
saying
money
Shanahan
talk,
would
shit
never
walks,
trade.
bro. I
No,
guarantee
I know.
you, if
I
the
hear you.
49ers called him with a first round pick, they're getting rid of Max Crosby. They're gonna do it. Like they have.
You think that's enough?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't see why. Like that's, I feel like that's like you probably get him for a second round pick. I feel like you just do. I feel like if you're the 49ers, you don't bullshit them. You just be like, hey, well, first round pick, and their owner's fucking Mark David.
What about this
know,
one? Bazi Mian makes a good point. The Raiders were not ever going to send Khalil Mack to the Niners. Why are they going to send Crosby to the Niners?
They gave away Khalil Mack
feel,
for nothing too.
Is that because they were in the same market back then?
Yeah, I don't think when the Raiders were like, I think it was like weren't they a little bit more competitive back then? Like actually, like they weren't.
Well,
like,
they were here. They were here. I mean, now that's the other thing. They were here. Plus, you know what? I mean, think about it this way: if you're the Raiders, what do the Raiders what's dominating their thought process right now? Probably Caleb Williams and Michael Penix and who's going to be our young quarterback. So they probably would like to establish some arsenal of picks. You might have to go a 1 and a conditional, 3 or something like that. I don't know if you'd get it done just for a 1. Let me ask you this, Jay. Do you have any concern about the substance issues that Crosby's had?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of ironic what Kyle said about Gregory. It's like until you know a guy, you just don't know him. Like, I mean, he might have problems in the past. It seems like he's gotten that under control or whatever. And you got to think when you're a guy like Max Crosby, you played for the Raiders, who are dysfunctional. You go to a team like the Niners, where it's like what the status quo is. We're here to win. You're a part of something that could change your whole trajectory of your career. You want to see they trade for Max Crosby. Max Crosby plays good, helps us win a Super Bowl. He's a made man in the Bay Area.
I know.
Like
and plus, he's already been here. He's already lived here. How old is he? 25.
He's 26.
26.
Yeah, he's
in his absolute prime right now.
He's a guy. Look, that's why I'm saying, like, if you're the 49ers, I feel like you should just offer it. Like, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it's like he's a guy that it's not even. It's for the future. It's like. Because after this year, whatever happens, you gotta start looking at the future and rebuilding around Brock Purdy and everything. And he's a guy like, okay, we got another pass rusher to go with Bosa, and you can continue to build the defense up.
I mean, I love the idea.
That's why I always tell people the best. People always forget about the Patriots is the one good thing about the Patriots was they were always reloading. They didn't keep guys long. They traded dudes. They made sure they always had guys for Brady. You got to keep a rotation. You got to keep adding assets. The teams get complacent. Look, like I say, like the Chiefs, that team's not going to be competitive. Like they have Patrick Mahomes, but think about the Chiefs 2-3 years from now. Look, they barely have any receivers.
I mean, that's the side effect of paying your quarterback a ton of money.
Yeah,
that's the side effect.
Like the Eagles, that team is dead in like 2-3 years. They're not going to be able to afford Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert. They're not going to have an offensive line because they're all old. Like that team's got on borrowed legs as it is.
Well,
imagine if you're a Cowboys fan, you feel like shit because you have Dak Prescott. You're paying him like $50 million a year, and he sucks.
And you've missed your window. You're not as good as a team like the Lions. They're going to take a team like Dallas' spot. I mean, that's just how the NFL works.
And I love it. I love the idea because the Niners' thinking is always that what you do up front is really what matters. That you can get by. Like you might be able to find a Sean Murphy bunting or something for a late round pick. And add another corner. But if you're really want to win the Super Bowl, how are you going to get over the top? You got to have overwhelming pressure, overwhelming rush.
You got to be able to stop these quarterbacks from having time.
Right.
It's like
because the one thing about the Niners, I mean, if we go back to last week's game, what did the Niners have all day on PJ Walker? 2 sacks.
Yeah. And just real shortly on that game, I'm so tired of the narrative with that game. It's you can tell who doesn't watch these games and they just comment on them. That was an ugly game. Like that's just like anybody could have lost that game. Like that was just an ugly game. It was raining. Like the defense always plays that. You're right that they should have ran the ball like way more. I don't know why you're trying to air it out.
It was box score
playing against the best defense in the league. It was never going to work. Like that was just like it's not even. I don't even look at it as a trap game. I was just like that's just like what happens when you go cross country in a rain game and play like the best defense in the league. That's just what happens. It's what happened to teams when they came to the 49ers last year. That's just what happened. You're not going to be in sync.
I love this idea. I love this idea because it I mean, the bottom line on it, like you have enough depth now with Drake and Gregory and the backups that you have. If you had one more difference maker starter up front, man, I mean, you would just absolutely burn the edges.
This may be controversial, but I honestly wouldn't be opposed to. I feel like in that kind of trade, you got to give some kind of player back. Like they're going to want something, and I feel like if you have to give Greenlaw for it, I think it's worth it. Like
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't
do that.
I wouldn't move Greenlaw. I mean, you saw how? Aren't you worried about the Niner run D? I mean, they got gashed for 4.7 a carry. They gave up 160 on the ground. To me, Greenlaw Greenlaw might be just from being in the room. Greenlaw is kind of the identity.
I feel like he's too injury prone. I feel like he's just too injury prone.
Because he hits people so damn hard.
Yeah, it's like.
I mean, he hasn't missed any big games though. He hasn't missed any playoff games, has he?
He'll play hurt. He'll play hurt. He's tough as hell, man. Greenlaw is what makes them scary. If there was anything, if I could go back in time, I would re-sign Azeez. Did you see Azeez had 16 tackles last week for the Titans?
I don't understand. They let a lot of guys go that I thought were pretty good. Like I mean, we could use Samson Ebercon right now, but I mean, whatever. Like they just let guys go.
Jay, I love it. I love it, man. Absolutely, I love it. Jay, I'm doing a video tomorrow on this. I'm gonna shout you out.
Bet. A quick point. I want to shout out to. I hope that the NFL forever literally remembers that the Dallas Cowboys, while they were getting destroyed on national television, could have put Trey Lance in the game to allow people to want to watch the game. They're like, no, we're just gonna put Cooper Rush out here. Had the men on the sideline warming up and just didn't do what are you doing? Like they're losing by like 30 points, bro. Just make some entertainment. I
bet you they trade him. I bet you they trade him.
Who, Trey Lance?
Yeah, I bet you they trade him. I bet you Trey Lance goes to another team. I'm not sure if he'll be at the deadline, but I'll say by this point next year he's traded somewhere else. He's not going to stay there.
I was watching a talking head talk about it, and if honestly, I could see him being a Cleveland Brown because like Deshaun Watson just literally is just like, I don't know when I'm going to play, and they just can't keep trotting out PJ Walker and random like DT. Like I mean, I like DTR, but he did not look good at all in that game. Like
if I was Trey Lance, you know where I want to go?
Where?
I want to go to Kansas City. I want to go to Kansas City. I want to play with Reed. I'll sit behind Mahomes. I'll learn. That's where I'd want to go. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, come on, he wouldn't play there." He needs to be developed correctly and not just thrown out there. He's raw. Hey, Jay, awesome stuff, man. Have a great night. We appreciate you.
Thanks,
Jay.
You
too. Remember, Larry, I'm not wrong other than that one time that I was wrong.
Thank you, Ocho Cinco. Jay bringing the heat, man. That was good stuff. That was good.
All right. I don't want to be a hater, but I don't see that actually really like I like Crosby,
it,
but I don't think it's actually going to happen just because of the guys they already got.
I hear you. It's a long shot, but I like it. Strider, the Strider buys.
Gentlemen. Hey, I got a new camera. How's the frame coming in? Am I like? Can you see the
freaking good? What's your jersey?
Really close, or
everything?
I'm repping the Debo.
There you go. There we go.
Where
are you calling from?
I think my head's like really big and fat. I'm gonna put it back a little bit. From San Diego. Spoke with you gentlemen a few weeks ago. Yeah,
that's right.
How's it going, boy?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Oh man, just living the life. I think you guys are my good luck charm because I got off work early on Wednesday again. So nice. I got and I've been I drive a lot, and there's this guy you might know, and I want to preface this by saying that I'm a big fan of his. You're familiar with Grant Cohn's work? Have you heard of him?
Know him well. Screamed with him yesterday.
No, I know. And a lot of people. I'm actually a big Grant Cohn fan, but I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's okay. The same way that Grant's not speaking about Kyle Shanahan, the person, he's just speaking of him as a coach. I think it's fair for anyone to kind of be critical. And he's being a little bit, I would say, alarmist when it comes to Brock Purdy and his performance. And I wanted to kind of get your guys' take on this because I love watching you guys. Kevin, good to see you, man. How you doing? I'm doing good, man. Love watching the show. I pulled up some stats because there's always these like really ridiculous comparisons that get made as soon as a quarterback has some success. The next Tom Brady, the next Joe Montana, right?
Right.
And I think as far as the Cleveland game goes, pulled up Joe Montana's statistic from the 1986 playoffs. He was 8 of 15 for 98 yards and 2 interceptions before he got bounced out of the game. People forget this stuff, right?
Against who?
This is in the 86 playoffs against the New York Giants. Yeah, okay. I remember. Yeah, I was like 9.
That was the eventual Super Bowl champion, 86 Giants.
Absolutely. And if you compare it to what the Cleveland Browns defense is doing, aren't they doing on a historic clip right now, like the best defense statistically since 1971?
Yep.
It's a great defense, no doubt. All great on all 3 levels. The guy who's super awesome, who I wanted the Niners to get badly in the draft was JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Steal. Absolute steal. And he played great.
What round did they get him in?
He went a couple picks after Banks in round 2 because he had a heart murmur or something like that, and he fell in the draft. The guy
I remember that draft. You were pissed when they didn't draft him.
Oh God, because he was just he's a great player. He's a great player.
Eating up to because a lot of times you'll see O'Sullivan do those great breakdowns of how Brock just layers the ball over guys. And you notice that Okoro, pronounce that for me one more time, Larry. I'm going to get that.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Koramoah. Okay. So Koramoah, did you notice he was getting a deeper drop? He obviously had done his homework. He'd done his film, and he was getting his hands on those balls, making life difficult for Brock. But I think that after we're at 13 or 14 incredible games from Brock in a row. Is that where we're at right now, guys?
Yeah, I mean like 13, I think, right?
13, if you count Miami.
Brock had 3 bad throws in the first half. He had 3 bad throws in the second half against the number 1 defense on the road in the rain without Debo, without CMC. He threw one. He had 1 turnover and led them to what should have been the game-winning field goal, except the guy missed it. So it's like we're crushing him for what? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous.
And that's the only thing I want to hear you guys' opinions on this too. I heard Grant say that he thinks like the book might be on Brock, and what he specifically said on with him and Jesse on After Dark was that apparently the book is that if you can get pressure with 4 down linemen and play man-to-man coverage, then that's how you expose Brock. And I'm like, guess what? That's not how you expose Brock. That's how you expose every quarterback in the league. If you can, I mean, it's simple math. If you can get pressure with 4 guys, how many are left? 7. How many guys can go out into a pattern? 5. 7 more than 5, right? It's pretty simple math. It's just so hard to do. Why? Personnel, right? Very difficult to do because you need the personnel that can be sticky in coverage, right?
Well, and I was listening to Greg Cosell talk this week and he's like, hey, look, I don't think just manning up is going to be playing man coverage is simply going to be the secret to beating this player. He pushed back on the whole notion that, hey, you know what, if you rush 4 and play man, you've got Brock cornered and he can't do anything. It's going to be a challenge for any quarterback to go up against the number 1 defense without his, 2 top weapons underneath. And he didn't have a great game, but I mean, it's like, once again, a lot of quarterbacks after not having a good game in the rain against the number 1 D, but by the time they get to that final drive, their just head is spinning. That guy in the final drive was determined as ever and looked great. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm a known Brock fan at this point, so absolutely. I guess I don't have any credibility on this.
I was watching the show live when it was preseason last year. When you're like, I don't know, man, this guy Brock Purdy. You did your Larry thing. You're like, out of Iowa State, ran a 4.840, but his 10-yard split is about the same as Lamar Jackson. The guy's a player. The guy's a player, and I was like.
Now you remember. Now
I remember you.
Yeah, the Larry thing where you pull some insane college that the guy went, how does he know that? And I remember like, well, this guy, and I just kind of started watching. I'm like, this guy Larry, he might be onto something. You've been right about a couple other players, and And then I started watching, and then during the preseason, Brock was doing his thing. When he got into the Miami game, first time he completed that pass with a 0 blitz to Kittle, I'm like, okay, this guy's a player. So
you know what's so funny about that game is I'm in the press box and I had been telling one of these Niner guys, hey man, this guy's the real deal. And by the time he came in, I was totally convinced he was the real deal. And and he turns to me, he's like, your boy's in there. And I said, I go, the 49ers, and I said it kind of loudly in the press box. I'm like, the 49ers just got appreciably better at quarterback. And like 3 people in the first row just looked back at me like, what's wrong with you? You know, it's like,
right.
But
Strider,
yeah,
the one thing I'll say to your point about the, dropping 7 back and having four rushers and, that's a great, to say the book's out on Purdy, like using that logic, it's more like that's a great way to play defense,
Yes,
like that's just a great way to play defense. If you're the Browns and you have Zadarius Smith, Myles Garrett, and you have
Tomlinson plugging up the middle,
you have
Ward,
JOK, who's a great coverage linebacker, and then you have 2 of the best cornerback, one of the best cornerbacks.
And then what? Newsome and Emerson,
NFL.
right? Isn't it Newsome and Emerson are the other 2?
Right.
Emerson, and they have Denzel Ward.
And so Denzel Ward, yeah. So they got 3 guys.
Secondaries in the league too. So it's like yes, like the book is out on every quarterback if that's how you play defense.
Thank you, Kevin. That was exactly my point. Yeah. And that's why I feel like that's a shortcut to honest journalism and honest thinking when you make a blanket statement like that. That's how you beat every quarterback. Tom Brady, remember the Patriots went 18-0, and then they went up against the Giants. And you know what Brady's stats were for that game? 29 of 54.
Wow.
Right? 29 of 54 for 266 yards and 1 touchdown. The great Patriots put up 14 points. You guys watched that game, right? The great Patriots put up 14 points. How did they do it? Rushing 4 down. Remember Jason Pierre-Paul, who's still in the league, right? Isn't Jason Pierre-Paul still?
He could still be in the league, but I don't think he's on any team right now. I think
so
he's
they were
on the street.
So what were they doing to Tom Brady in that Super Bowl? That was the blueprint. They got pressure with 4, were able to drop 7 back. To your point, Kevin, what you and I were discussing, right? And isn't that kind of the Niners blueprint? What do we like to do? We like to get pressure
I was
with
4. Say that
too.
Yeah. And then you have Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw covering in the secondary, and you have 7 versus 5, and that's dominant,
Yeah. Now, if Purdy had put up those stats against a mediocre, even like a middle of the road defense, I still wouldn't be that much of an alarmist because quarterbacks have bad games, but it might be different. This all needs to be taken with a grain of salt and context. Look at the field conditions matter, and it doesn't mean that you don't want to put some pressure on them to follow that up with a better performance, right? Because that's what we found.
And honestly, what it really points out is that you need to improve in the offensive line. That's what you need to
can we talk about that for just a second? How frustrating was it to see Dawan Jones, who we could have had
instead of Cam Latu,
or our kicker?
Yeah.
We could have had
Jones would have been a phenomenal draft choice.
Huge.
I mean,
he's so
and his footwork is phenomenal.
You guys feel that because Kyle runs a certain system and he likes to have lighter on their feet offensive linemen, that discounts a lot of talented players because he doesn't feel like they can run his system? Is there any logic to when you need offensive line help, even as a backup, why you would have passed on that guy, except that he's big? Remember we got rid of Trent Brown? Remember when the Kyle came in, we had Trent Brown as our right tackle. And he was a really big guy. I think he was decent in pass pro. Larry, you're the stats guy.
No, he was good.
But he was just too slow to run the outside zone scheme, right?
Dawan Jones. No, because the tackle, I mean, it's not about speed for the tackles necessarily. It's about quickness. But I think what happened with Dawan Jones is just that Dawan Jones turned off the scouting community because he, in the pre-draft interviews at the combine, told
sleep with one of the scouts' daughters, or what?
No, he told everybody his dream was to play in the NBA.
Well, yeah. So you know who else was Antonio Gates, one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
I know, but it's like
just because that was his dream.
I know, but I mean, if you go to a job interview and you tell the person interviewing you that your dream is to work in a different field, you're not going to get the job.
I guess that's an interesting insight. It seems to be, although I think most of us would agree, given what we saw on Sunday, wouldn't it have been a lot nicer to have a guy like Dawan Jones than Colton? And don't get me wrong, Colton, he seems like a really nice
Colton's
guy.
playing pretty decently,
and he's not doing horrible, but also not doing great. And I would like
he's
that.
not the reason they lost to the Browns, that's for sure.
Oh,
but
no, absolutely not.
But I know what you're saying. It would have been nice to have Dawan Jones, just period.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll add on that is that the zone running game is like the fundamental part of like the Shanahan system. And I just think when he sees Dawan Jones, he sees like, I'm looking at his numbers right now, 6'8", 375. Like they value run blocking more than they value pass blocking, which is, you can argue whether that's actually good or not, but I don't know if they could see him moving the way that they want him to move in the zone running game.
You're touching on exactly what I was curious what you guys felt, and so we're on the same page there.
I think he moves really well.
It seemed like he did, and I think that sometimes we're all trying to get better. I think it's okay, even though I'm very grateful of this administration, if you want to call Lynch and Shanahan an administration, essentially, because they delivered us out of the horrific Tom Sula, Chip Kelly days, right? And so I'm really grateful that we all get to watch a much better brand of football. It's still okay to question some of these moves, and that's one where I kind of go, Kyle, like, are you so married to your system that you pass up good talent when it's out there?
I'd love to know where they had him on their board. Hey, Strider, we got to jump because we got a couple more we got to get to. Kev's got to go study, but
always good talking to you, gentlemen.
But good to see you, man.
Thanks, Strider.
Jump in anytime. Appreciate you. There you go, Strider. Should we go to Cam Thacker in Tucson? Look at this. Look at this.
Larry, Kev, how we doing?
Two guys with curly hair. What's up? What's up, Cam? What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. I've been reflecting a lot today on the Browns game and looking forward to the Vikings game, obviously. And I don't think I can say much about the Browns game that hasn't been said, but given the circumstances, if you told me the circumstances of the game before the game, I don't think it would have been a field goal game. You know what I'm saying? So
people are saying Kevin's doppelganger, Kevin's twin. Yeah. Cam, what do you think? Are they going to bounce back on Monday night? What's your vibe on it?
Yeah, I think so. The Vikings currently have a bottom 10 red zone defense and a bottom 10 third down defense. So I think that our offense is going to bounce back. A big problem was that we couldn't stay ahead of the sticks. And I think that their third down defense is I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's
Have met this guy at Coachella. What does that even mean?
Oh man, people are just like they're enjoying Cam's, the fact that you and Cam have a very similar look. No, I was not at spring training 21 years ago. Enough of that. No, but Cam, what's your feeling? I mean, a lot of Niner fans are kind of reeling after the loss. How did you handle the loss?
Initially, I don't know. I was watching the game with my mom, and I told her he's gonna miss the kick. I don't know why. I just knew he was gonna miss the kick. All day, the cameras had been panning to how much fun the Browns players were having. They were laughing and joking, and it just kind of felt like the vibe was gonna be the Browns win, especially without Greenlaw and Debo and CMC and Trent Williams on a hurt ankle. So I think that the circumstances are a lot worse than the final score was, but I think they're going to bounce back. JJ is out, and like I said, the Vikings defense has been really bad in the red zone and on third down. So I think Ayuk will bounce back. I don't know. Ayuk had a bunch of drops, but
he needs to bounce back.
He had 4 receptions for 76 yards, and that's a bad game for him. So I think that he's really a wide receiver one. He just needs to prove it more, and I think given another opportunity, he will.
I had a bad feeling about Moody watching him line up for that one as well. I was like, oh, man. You know when I really got nervous? When they showed the angle behind the kicker and I saw how far it was, and I was like, oh, my God. They couldn't have run one more freaking play to get a little closer. Oh my God, that
Yeah,
looks
that was something I was really big on. I thought Kyle coached the last 2 possessions really poorly. Our second to last possession, there was 3 minutes left, and we threw 3 straight incompletions and gave the ball back to the Browns with timeouts ahead of the 2-minute warning. And I think if that was the strategy to give the ball back to them, you should have ran it 3 times and burned their timeouts and burned the time more. But that mixed with the fact that we had the timeout in our pocket to run one more play to Mason or a quick out route from Purdy or just something to get a couple more yards, because that was the rookie's first moment in a pressure kick like that, and unfortunately he missed.
Cam, the RSR show is your show, right? When do you run your show?
I just started it. I actually got the inspiration from you guys to officially start it. I've wanted to do sports talk for a long time, but coming on your show and talking to you guys kind of helped me motivate me, I guess. So
Nice.
Every day I'm releasing content. I have a schedule, and yeah, I'll be uploading videos daily. It's mainly about the NFL, like more so all the teams, but I will have Niner videos as well.
Nice.
All right, brother. Hey, we're going to let you go because Kev's got to study, and Michael O'Brien, we got one more before we head for the door. But go Niners. Hopefully we'll see a bounce back Monday night. Thanks for jumping in.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Cam.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. See you guys.
There you go. Cam Thacker from Tucson.
My brother.
LAL, Cam Kruger. We got this one from Eric Hernandez. Kevin and Larry. All right, do we go to Michael? Michael,
Yeah.
Are you there, buddy? Mike, are you there?
Nope.
Oh, look at that. Well, we could wait a second. Are you there? Do you have a Hold on. We'll put you backstage until you get your camera set. Get that camera set, and then we'll go to you. Let's do this while Mike's setting up his camera. Let's go to our supers. We got a few supers here. 69ers says, is Brian Burns a realistic trade? Well, talk is that he's going to be traded. So I don't know if he's realistic for the Niners. They turned down 2 number ones for him a year ago, so I don't know how realistic it is. Anthony says, bro, Gardner has Debo on his mind. Creepy. Yeah, CJ Gardner-Johnson looks angry. He really does look angry, doesn't he?
That's why he's good, though.
I know. I love that guy. Guy's awesome. I wish the Niners had gotten him. Douglas Fatiglia. He says, Like, bang, bang, much love, faithful. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks,
We
man.
got this one from Strawberry Reacts. Grant thinks Kyle Shanahan is trying to bench Brock Purdy for Sam Darnold. Are you worried Kyle Shanahan lost trust in Brock Purdy? No.
A lot of acronyms in that one.
Yeah, I pushed back on that when Grant brought that up in our stream the other day. He was like, yeah, one more loss and he's going to Darnold. I'm like, no. No, he's not.
There's no way.
There's no way. Kyle knows what he's got in Purdy. He knows he's got a special player. Vicente Chavez says $2. And thank you, Vicente. And Vicente is also a YouTube member now. Vicente, we always give our YouTube member a little clap. Thank you, sir. Well, Kev, the call dropped off. So you got a final thought here? We're an hour and a half into this thing.
Do you want to do a little one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mojo Fantasy jersey giveaway. We're giving away legit NFL authentic jerseys. We're giving away 2 of them.
Tell people how they can do it, because maybe a lot of people are like, well, how do I get this jersey? What do I have to do exactly? So on Thanksgiving night, we're going to be doing a post-game live stream from my wife's mother and father's house, because we're going to be at their house in El Dorado Hills for Thanksgiving. So the Niners play in Seattle. We're going to be doing a live stream. We're going to carry all of our equipment up there. We're going to do a live stream. And on that night, we're going to basically, everybody who goes to Mojo, goes to the link in our description for Mojo and makes a deposit.
Yeah.
Right. Clicks the link in the description.
Click the link in the description. It'll send you to the app, download the app. And then when you deposit, just use promo code Krug. They'll double your deposit, but you'll also be entered in to win a free jersey worth over $170. And I don't know if we've had anyone enter yet. So if you enter, you might win 2 jerseys. So
wow. Well, it's 5 weeks. We got 5 weeks to enter some people. There's going to be a bunch of people entered.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be thousands of people entered. It's going to be a very finite group of people.
Yeah. So do that. Also, Krug Show links in the are in the description for the Spotify, for the merch, for the Apple Podcasts, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And yeah. Do you want to do like an early prediction for what you think the score is going to be for the Vikings game? Or do you want to wait? Want to save that?
Well, no, I can do a prediction. I mean, I don't know how accurate I'll be. I think the 49ers bounce back in this game on both sides of the ball. So I think the 49ers are going to wind up scoring 35 in this game. I'm going to say 35-17 49ers. How do you see it?
I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go primetime unders are just cashing right now. There's something about it, but also like, why would a Monday game be an under? I understand a Thursday game being an under because you have less rest. In this case, you have more rest. So I'm not going to completely fall to that. They're 6.5-point favorites. I think that's pretty sharp. Like, I think that's a pretty good number. I think they might win by 7. So what would that be? I'd say, 27-20 maybe.
You think it's going to be that close between the Niners and Vikings? It is in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota. The Vikings find a way to lose and not get killed. Maybe
they're going to get cooked by Jordan Addison and Osborne. I don't know, man.
Addison's pretty good.
No, I know. He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a bounce back spot for the defense. I'm gonna have to wait. Till I guess I'm not gonna go on again till the game's over. Fuck. I gotta get a pick in.
Yeah, you better make a pick.
Yeah,
make a pick.
I'll go 27-14.
27-14 Niners on Monday night. Yeah, I definitely think 30s in the, I could see them going 30 and 30, what'd I say? 31-14?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I think that sounds about right. Let me read a couple of these chats before we get out of here. Some of these make me laugh. Let's see. Where's the one I wanted to read here? We got this one from Lake Show Baby. Says Grant was serious about Purdy being benched for Darnold. He really thinks that Kyle's going to go to Darnold. I really don't think he's going to go to Darnold. I really don't. This guy goes, the Smitty says, was that last caller Bill Walton's grandson? Yes. We get this one from 49er Fangal. He says, I love Kevin's twin. I found him during last night's show. It makes me smile. Ready, set, rush. Asked my mom if she ever knew a Larry Krueger. She said no, kind of surprised. Okay. Mitchell and Ness, always start Ness. He says, Larry, you calling out Niner content creators earlier. Why not name names? If you're going to talk shit, do it right. Don't be a woman about it. Oh, now we're great. Now we're insulting women. Way to go, Mitchell and Ness. Way to put your foot in your mouth. They know who they are. I don't have to give them any love. They know who they are. You probably know who they are, and they probably know who they are. That's all they need. I don't need to help anybody build their lame channels on me.
I like how he's ripping you and then just like ends it with like kind of like a sexist remark. Like,
yeah. Mitchell and Ness. Thanks, bro. Good to see you're doing so well. Spencer Alsey. Damn, Larry. Gonna be like 20 minutes from me. Was he in there? Jimmy Kwan says, Larry, you had me crying doing the impression of the guy who left a bunch of voicemails on his phone. The late Ralph Barbieri. Craig, you're so cute. You get so angry. Now Bomber T is going off on Mitchell and Ness. The only woman around here is you. Okay. Things are getting ugly. Things are getting ugly.
Yeah, we gotta cut this.
We gotta cut this. Yeah, seriously. I'm watching a little bit of Warriors Kings. Kings are beating the Warriors tonight. Is the baseball game over? Did Texas lose to the Astros?
Let me check.
A lot of people saying 30-17 Niners, 21-10 Niners. We got this one 31-20 Niners.
8-5 Astros win.
Wow. So there you go. The Astros, are the Astros going to make a series of it? So there you go. I don't
home
think so.
team has won.
Rangers Phillies. Who do you like in Rangers Phillies in the World Series? If we get that,
I'm
going Boch,
Philly.
man.
I'm
I'm going
Phillies.
Boch.
Phillies are looking nice. Their offense is humming.
Niner Gold says, Larry, your thoughts on Joe Lacob? He spoke today on 95.7 The Game, and there was a lot of good stuff in there. I thought the one that cracked me up was like, hey, Bay Area fans, keep the faith on the Giants. It's like, thanks. Like you kept the faith on the city of Oakland. I mean, everybody does what's best for them, Joe, yourself included. Don't forget that. Everybody does what's best for themselves. If people want to pay the money to go to Giants baseball games, they will. They're not going to go because you told them to keep the faith. And I almost get the feeling like Joe was like preparing us for the future of Warrior basketball, because he said today he's going to the finish line with Draymond, Clay, and Steph. And we all know those guys are going to make big, big coin all the way till the end. So if that's indeed the case, then the Warriors may have some lean years coming up. And maybe he was just saying that as a way to kind of get ahead of things and say, hey, even when we're not good in 2 years or 3 years, still come out and support us. That was my takeaway on that. All right, Kev, what do you get cooking the rest of the week? I'm going to be tomorrow. Of course, we're down in Santa Clara.
What I'm cooking is this channel. I'm going to be cooking for this channel. That's what I'm going to be doing.
And class, hopefully. Hopefully
Maybe.
A little class as well.
A little bit of class.
Mitchell and Ness. Oh, my God. Mitchell and Ness, I don't want to ban you, but you sometimes some of your stuff, don't try to egg stuff on. You know who said what. You go back and watch their stuff. You can go look for yourself. Kev, have a great night. Once again, thanks to Marin Auto Glass, marinautoglass.com, 415-883-3030, New York style Italian sausage company. And of course, Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue you're ever going to find. And then, of course, Mojo Fantasy. Go to mojofantasy.com and sign up. Use that promo code Krug. They'll match you up to your first $100. And then everybody who signs up is in the running for either a Brock Purdy jersey or a Nick Bosa jersey, and we'll give that away on Thanksgiving. Kev, good stuff. Thanks to you. I cut a ton of videos here in the last day. And by the way, our final thought here before we bolt for the door. We have my favorite caller of all time, the great Johnny C.
Let's go to Johnny C.
Let me try, Larry. Okay, so Larry, here's the deal. Larry, honestly, Larry. No, but Larry, I gripe here though, Larry. Larry.
And now
Larry. I mean, Larry, but here's the thing, Larry.
What do you think?
I think they're going to sign Jason Peters.
How old is he?
He's 40, but and Larry. Larry. I mean, Larry, I wish I could, Larry.
Johnny, we're going to have to jump.
Once again, that's enough. Have a great night, everybody. Peace. Kev, good to see you. I love you, bro.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Careful, whatever you bring me, get